All right, folks, we're back. I got a favor to ask, though. Getting into these finals. Gonna be starting off on Sequencer, and it is the best of 5, but I gotta give some big love once again to Riamar. Unremitting had stolen the top donator slot from him, and Riamar couldn't let that happen. So he threw some more bucks, $23 to be precise, into the prize pool, giving us a grand total now of $309 in prize money going into these finals. That's some good shit to see. But of course, we still have coupon codes remaining. Do me a favor though, if you're not willing to use Matcherino, you're not willing to throw in that free $1 to the prize pool for these players, at least head on over to the BaseTradeTV Twitter, hit that retweet button, and share with people. Let them know that the grand finals is starting off here. It is, of course, a tournament primarily sponsored or powered by Twitch, depending on how you want to phrase that. Big thank you to our Twitch overlords for giving us the money to make this happen. We need to make like a prayer for this. Hallowed be thy father, Twitch be thy name. And of course, Match Arena helps soup up the prize money by allowing us to crowdsource from the fans that want to give these players some more money. It's awesome because, of course, top 4 spots are still paid out. So even though our fallen heroes such as Impact and Neeb are out, they will still benefit from some prize money. That being said, it's the best of 5 grand finals. Spawning here in the bottom left, we've got the blue Protoss, Zest.
In the top right has the red Zerg, it's Leenock.
And ooh, I have made a simple mistake I need to correct. Camera's gonna go on you for a moment here.
Okay.
Because I forgot to actually create, like, first place, second place, etc. on the tournament. I gotta go do that real quick. Because right now, it's just not, there's nothing. Everyone's playing for nothing. There should definitely be a prize pool, in my honest opinion.
And usually it's a pretty good thing to have. So it's fine. Anyway, I get that done. ZVP, these guys both came to Gameland, actually, pretty friendly.
Canada
Talking a lot
hype?
in chat too. Yeah. I don't really actually play. They're in different groups.
No, yeah. Leenock ended up fighting, was it Peely was the notable ZVP.
Yeah, these guys managed to avoid each other. Zest played Keen twice, though, if he was here today, but he's not. So, anyways, they're friendly. I mentioned they know each other's styles quite a bit. Zest, while looked, absolutely fantastic in his PvP today against Neeb, has not looked as good in his other matches. And Leenock has looked really good in ZVP specifically, I think. So I'm giving this one to him, maybe 3-1.
Yeah, Leenock, funny enough, though, we only got to watch that game versus Rogue earlier. He did fight, or excuse me, versus Trust. He did fight 2 ZVZs after. But that first series today versus Trust was pretty legit. Also, updating now that we have a proper prize pool. Pretty nice sum of money on the line here. So we are in the grand finals. And with the current prize pool being what it is, $140 for first place, $62 for second. Again, context here being, the Corsair Cup is a pretty standard $100 a week prize money. It doesn't grow, it doesn't shrink. $60 is what first place gets over there. So you get even more than that for second place, the loser of this best of 5.
Very cool.
And third and fourth get $39 each too, which isn't too bad for our fallen heroes.
I mean, that's a lot of dinners. Or one really big dinner. I mean, either way.
Well, in Korea, it's definitely a lot of big dinners.
I don't know, man. Some of these places, especially when they try and be like American style. I went to
They're like,
a place.
we'd like tips, please, because we're American style.
Nah. If only they could do that right. Well, we're gonna have a bailing bus on the way, so this might be a little more important because Zest can't quite tell that that's the case. I don't think.
Yeah, the Adept's going to the third, having not been properly in the main.
Yeah, and it's like, they kind of saw the drone lines, so there might have been a suspicious lack of drones, but that's something you really got to be looking for. And I'm not even sure the Adepts got in far enough to confirm. Or those are like, half of a mineral line or something like that. So this could be pretty brutal. He's taking a very quick third base. He's only got an Oracle on the way out, and that might be depowered, so no more Oracles after this first one. Oh, God. Yep, send him crash in there.
That supply block's gonna be nasty. He pulls the probes, but realizes he shouldn't pull the probes.
Leenock, I mean, he doesn't have to use his banelings on, okay, well, he does anyway, but I was gonna say, you could probably just save them.
I agree.
In
Like,
case
could have probably caught them, sent them to the main even. But he does manage to band-aid the wall, but the problem is it's not going to last. There's no chance to overcharge. It's over. Good game. Map 1 quickly goes to Leenock.
Boom. Leenock play that way, yo.
Leenock's a scary dude. I want to say, though,
He is.
I think Zest actually has I'm almost going to call it a record. I can recall at least one other finals we had ZVP and Zest got floored in. So,
oh, you know, sounds very familiar.
I'm wondering if he's going to get, like if this is slowly turning into, like, the Sue effect, right? Like, he's stuck with second place for BTSLs.
Man, I'm totally with you. Like, I remember there being a really big, like, bad stomp, but I can't remember who it was. I only have so many Zerg show up, too. Oh, well. But it's all in line, though, with what we keep saying about Zest. I mean, he's doing better than he was a couple months ago. His PvP has always been on point, so I'm not surprised to see him, make his way through here. But his PvZ still feels like his weakest matchup, by far. Agreed.
But it's also worth noting, too, like, he is more consistently making it to the finals. He's more regularly here at the top end of things, right? Like, no matter how good or bad Zest may be in form, the fact is, like, he's still outperforming the others.
Of course, yeah. Still very good player. But yeah, ZVP, it's not even just, I mean, that's a surprise build, right? Like, oh, well, really, should we look into that much? Probably not. But if my suspicion is correct, we might see like a macro game where he also kind of gets just like rolled over by Leenock. And then that's when I'm just going to be like, yeah, Zest is just not quite with this matchup. He's not with it.
I just got dead debuffed again because I died to Riamar.
Didn't you? You're the one that told me that he has a bunch of items. Why would you continue dueling him?
Because I killed him last time. Also, I didn't catch if the RP went through. Did the arena happen? Who won?
Oh, I didn't pay attention either.
I don't think it actually started yet. Or maybe it did? I don't know.
Watching The Big Short, I learned about the hot hand fallacy. Do you remember that part?
No. It's been a while, but hang
apparently
on.
It's a... Gonna start the arena or what?
Oh, actually, finish your point. I'll get to mine after. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, they were using it as a economics term, but it originally debuted in basketball, and it's the idea that since someone is getting a lot of shots in, they seem to have hot hands, that it'll continue being that way, which is a very basic thing, I think. Sometimes I think like when things have these names. No, but it's the assumption that it'll continue, right? Like, that's the fallacy, is that you assume because they're doing well right now that it'll continue. But it's such a fancy, like, this to put like a fallacy or like a theory or something like that, like a nice big word that makes it like a concrete like phrase. I always expect a little something more. You know what I mean? Like Occam's razor. It just means like the simplest answer is the best one.
I was going to report in that while we were asking about the arena, it timed out well because... everyone's dead. They got 5 macros, just some pepperonis. Now it's come down to moving laterally, Halen, Racer 2000, and me.
You just wanted to note that you made it.
Yeah. Actually, it's me versus Halen. Although the last 3 times I've made it to the finals, I've been getting zested on pretty hard, and I've been the one dying. Diet Soda killed me last time.
You've been getting zested on?
Yeah, always finished second place in the finals.
It's not like it's been a recurring theme. Jeez.
Well, it might be.
It's not like Sue.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I gave Zest the point on the board, guys. We didn't do intros, so that kind of messed me up. Leenock is the one who's actually up 1-0. Excuse me. Well, as far as this game goes, Zest so far has nothing to worry about. And one of the bigger things about this was the probe. A lot of scouting. Sees everything that's going on here except the third. But it's not really the third I think he's looking for the most part. It was like checking the gases in the main. What did that look like as far as saturation? And the probe's going to head back home.
Unfortunately, Leenock could still be tricking Zest. This early on, you just can never be very sure. So, much more importantly, the follow-up Adept getting a scout. Because he is going forward again. He is doing a Baneling bust again. What a dick. No, I love it, actually.
Wait, did he... Oh, the Baneling is in the natural. Okay, so you dive that deep in the main thing, maybe you saw what you needed to see, but I got to sadly report I did, in fact, die again. So, Rifkin and Zest confirmed.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Zest just leaves.
Okay, so I mean, it keeps the Adept alive, but that's going to be at a cost. Now, maybe he assumes this is the case, but he's still taking a third.
Yeah, I don't think he does. It's so disappointing too, because like the third base would not have many drones, even if you weren't going for laying all in. But the natural would probably have more. But it also just would have had the Bailey nest, and that would have been even more obvious. And that's the only thing he didn't scout.
Well, this is
the main. He's got the third. The natural.
This is like on the warpath here, unfortunately. Like that third Nexus is getting caught up in the attack, whether it wants to be or not.
Well, I think that's a better solution though for Zest. If the third base can buy time, warn him an extra 5 seconds, maybe he can get that wall in the natural. And stopping this from snowballing is what's more important. Oh, or maybe just nothing at all.
The Bailey's don't even need to kill the pylons, need to kill the Zealot. The Lings are actually kind of keeping them back, but the pylon goes down. He does put down an awesome set of gateways before losing the power grid. If he didn't do this, he wouldn't be able to build anything right now, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. That was clutch. He almost didn't have enough minerals to throw down 2 gateways, and only one would not have cut it. But even still, Leenock committing more to this. I don't know if it's going to work. Zest has been given the time to calmly prepare, but still not with a lot of production. Might just lose out because of that.
I mean, if this Void Ray was out, the Oracle already did as much as it could on the energy of that. If this Void Ray was out, I think Zest shuts this down. It's easy sailing towards that third. But he's still got to get it out.
I don't know. Game's about to finish up here, turn a warp gate. The third base still has photon overcharges, potentially. Like, that's not going to go down. Leenock is trying to end the game, but I'm not sure it's going to work. And he's not going to get the third base off of it either. He's trying to build drones right now. I don't think he gets the third base. There's still overcharges. They're a little bit late, though, so...
Yeah, Pylon's already exhausted. Void Ray and Oracle should still hold.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. This is bad news for Leenock. You know, I really think that if he had just decided to maybe wait a little bit longer, invest in a couple more Banelings, and breaking the fronts would have been a better idea.
Oh, you mean like
killing
on
the
this side?
Semitic score? Yeah, because then it's a surprise. Zest hasn't pre-pulled a probe to build gateways.
That's true. Which, by the way, it is worth noting that Leenock, regardless of all this, this does definitely go to Zest as far as the points. If there were points to assign. If he didn't barely get those down when he did, like the pylon was dead, he would have been bust through, and this game could have actually been very much over. But, ooh, looking for a full surround on this Nexus.
You know, if he still gets the Nexus, this wouldn't be so bad. It's still not going to be given that opportunity.
We'll get some force fields, but it's not really about the trades on force fields right now. Every second that goes by, this gets better for Zest. And while Leenock might be trying to drone behind this, like... It's interesting. He's got less workers, but he's been able to use his third, where Zest hasn't. Just now getting those probes over.
Yeah,
looks like
you know, it's still Zest favored.
Yeah.
But maybe a little less than it could have been. Yeah, unfortunately, Leenock, you know, he also had like 3 rounds where he tried to make this work. If he had cut his loss a little bit sooner, maybe he's at a better, you know, potential follow-up here. But he just is really hurting. And I think the only way that Zest throws it is by not having force fields against Banelings. You know, trying to push out right here with a very flimsy army. If he was, you know, just caught off guard, that's a throw. But what are the chances? That is so many sentries.
That is actually an absurdly, almost comical amount of sentries. But
well,
the investment in this is so much that this Bane drop he's setting up for...
I love it.
It might pay off. I don't know. This is still so much he's got to get through. Even if all the sentries were to die, which they won't. There's no way they will. But even if they did, there's so much else he has to get through.
I'm loving Leenock's attempted defense. Unfortunately, I'm still not sure it's going to be enough. If he had met him halfway, or, you know, the spine colors were done, you know, something like that, then perhaps. But he's already pre-split.
He really wants to get those Banelings in, but he's so scared of the Stalkers and the Void Ray, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, they're not doing such a bad job, the spine crawlers. The Adepts get hit with the Banelings as well as a couple of sentries, although one of them are saved. This is lasting so long, but
Leenock is
tell the tale.
Yeah, he's losing this, but I just want to point out how close this was to looking like a solid defense. How nearly he almost pulled this off.
If only there were numbers to back up his pretty awesome strats. GG.
Zest gonna take game number 2 and tie things up now 1-1. If you are a StarCraft fan though and you're just joining the stream, We are already in the finals, and this is game number 3 coming up after the break. Quickly noting, Unremitting challenges Riamar once again on Match Reno with $9 to take the first #1 spot away. So up to $324 raised now for prize money. Keep using the codes, guys. I don't know if there's any still left, but please, July 17, use up every single code. Squeeze out every single dollar. And big thank you to the folks who are the extra esport heroes going the extra way. I didn't see this one earlier, but Ian or Ant Trope with 2 eyes, or maybe it's Ian Trope Eye, threw in $11 as well. So some more actual hard-earned cash coming through. Awesome stuff to see. But like I said, commercial break. 2 minutes. We'll be back with game 3 after the break. All right, folks, we are back. Thanks for watching the BTSL. Leenock's requested a quick break. Let's head off to the bathroom, so we'll be waiting a few moments on him to get back. And then we'll continue on here with the grand finals. In the meantime, if you haven't, consider hitting the follow button on the channel. We are now up to 85,687 followers, which is a wonderful number. But my goal is for that 100K. I want those 6 digits, god damn it. So guys, hit that follow button. Just squeeze out all the followers we can. Of course, if you're enjoying the channel, it also lets you know when we go live. All that good stuff, get those notifications. And I guess while we are waiting to lay out the rest of the schedule for the week, we've got DreamHack Atlanta coming up, which is awesome. That's like the end goal here. That's the end of the week. It's going to be the weekend. It's going to be awesome. But we also have both Alima League happening tomorrow night, and then one more iteration of the BTSL, which will be the monthly finals, aka the season finals. And that should be some pretty good times. I do need to talk on that, though, because you'll notice we did cancel one of the cups. I guess I meant to talk about this at the start of the stream, but we didn't get a chance to. Also, yo, big shout out to Namshar. Just subbed to the channel.
Hey.
I guess this guy sees all the good Korean Zerg playing today and says, you know what? I want me some of that replay pack action. And, of course, we do send replay packs out to our subscribers, so selling out just a little bit harder here at the end of the day, guys. If you do Prime sub, a regular sub, whatever best fits your means, you're all going to get replay packs for the tournaments we cast, which is great. And this week in particular is a good one. As I mentioned, the grand finals for this week's BTSL coming up sooner than later. We had to cut one of the cups. Timing was just bad. DreamHack was happening. There's so many things, and there's just nowhere else to move it to due to how packed our schedule is. So this is going to be the second BTSL, and it's also going to be the last one to determine points for who goes through to those grand finals. But prize money on the line, points on the line. We are in the finals after all. It's a best of 5, and things are tied up now 1-1. In the top left, it's the Blue Zerg, Leenock.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it is Zest.
Anyways, just to really send it home one more time, guys. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that follow button. Help us get that follower count up as high as we possibly can. Thank you so much for your troubles. But this is I don't know, a little bit concerning, I guess, for Zest. You know, he's taken a lot of damage. Even in the game he won just now, like, he still takes a lot of damage getting there, and it's certainly not an easy road to play against Leenock. I think what's really important, though, is to identify whether it will be that all-in or not. So whether it's this probe now or the adept afterwards, like, a lot of scouting information for Zest is going to be the most valuable thing to him this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that if you're given a little bit of notice about the Baneling bust, it is something that Protoss have gotten very adept at dealing with. This used to be the thing to do. I know, adept. Huh. It used to be the thing to do. So just all in after all in. Whether it was off of 2 bases, 3 bases, lings, roaches, whatever. And Protoss had to get very, very used to dealing with it. So you can see that it is just a little bit of a warning. Little tiny bit of one. And it's a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm
just trying to think. Fiji Walter for the Twitch Prime sub. You almost got me.
Oh, Fiji Water. Yeah. I was just thinking, though, on that point you made, I wonder if I gotta imagine it's the case. ZVP probably has like the longest history of the most all-ins out of all the matchups, right? Like, because for a while it was 4-gate with the Protoss, yeah. Proxies with this, like, then Zerg turned it around. We had proxy hatcheries even for a while be things. Scarlet's still trying to make that happen. Like, this matchup just has a long history of all-ins, so they've got to be used to it for sure.
I think you're right. Not something I've thought of, like, no one's ever asked me that question, like, what is the most all-ins? I'd say also based off race, people would mostly attribute to Protoss, but I feel like Legacy of the Void Zerg is going to give that a run for its money. And Protoss was so all-in based in the first 2 expansions, I guess, but to be honest, it was one big one in Heart of the Swarm, and then it was a bunch of Zerg ones in Legacy of the Void.
My favorite all-in was the Broodlord and Fester all.
Hey. Yeah. Well, anyways, I get a new Able for the 41-month resub. I guess everyone always pays attention to the Broodlord and Fester era so much about Wings of Liberty that it's kind of forgotten, like the whole like Roach swell that was very popular versus Protoss, you know, Stefano style coming in. There was a time where Ultras people thought they were good against Protoss too, in Heart of the Swarm. I remember like a lot of Leenock versus Nottingham games actually, not just Wings of Liberty Baneling bombs, but also Heart of the Swarm Ultras. I remember it so distinctly because I would look at the Protoss army full of Immortals and Archons, and then look at the Zerg army full of Ultras, and I'd be like, that ain't gonna work. And then it wouldn't work a lot of the time, and I'd always wonder why Zergs ever did it. That was a weird DVP point, in my opinion. Maybe one of the weirdest ones. Well, I guess Legacy of the Void was pretty weird when it first started, but
yeah.
Another history lesson.
There's that time period too where I think it was like really early in the beta, things were really ridiculous too, and you just like you couldn't fight a disruptor back then. You couldn't fight lurkers back then. Like it was, everyone had such extremes at the beta for Legacy.
Yeah, as things usually go. Or, you know, new games, a lot of all-ins, a lot of low economy, and a lot of which unit is the most powerful. Make a lot of that one before people learn about finesse again. You know, 6 years of StarCraft, people forget like force fields are good, for instance. Although they were pretty bad beginning Legacy of the Void.
Snapgrab, I need you to wish me luck here. Remar's challenged me to a duel again.
I wish you luck, and I wish Zest luck as he throws down 2 more Stargates. Mass Void Rays.
Feels bad for Zest. I just got easily slain.
Okay, well.
Like the worst part is that he killed
beat
me.
up
I was easily slain. Like I didn't put up a fight.
Well then.
But yeah, Void Rays. Man, I admire the Stargate play. I like Void Rays. They can create for some silly, ridiculous-looking engagements. The thing is, though, I'm starting to believe less and less that they're as good. Like, I don't know. Like, with Hydras coming out, they're faster, damage them more health. Like, there's a lot of things here where if he gets caught on low Void Ray counts, Zest gets screwed. But if he actually gets to get to that high count, if he gets that appropriate air number going for him for army supply, then maybe Leenock's the one who'll be in trouble. I mean, Leenock doesn't know about this yet. He knows there is a Stargate, and he knows there's a Void Ray in play. Now he's going to see 3.
Yeah, he sees 3 of them. That's a little more suspicious. You know, you don't... 2 maybe because you thought they're going to all in. Like, it's a very old thing to do, but definitely not 3. So he should know. And there's very good news here. And that Leenock was already on his way to Hydras. He already has 64 drones and 4 bases. And it's timing out with +1 and Hydra buffs. Upgrades, rather. They have had a buff, but I mean upgrades. He can attack, basically. You know, like if he was going for, more drones at this point, if he had delayed his Hydralisk because he wanted to get an infestation, like something along those lines, he can't really attack, and maybe Zest gets to that crucial number of Void Rays. But he's going to try and poke here. Maybe not really worth it. It's not a lot of Hydras. Still got to wait for reinforcements, and he just made 12 drones.
Yeah, Stasis Trap down as well, so if Lings decide to flood in a little too quickly, it could hurt.
He's not going to go for it. No, he's going to go for it. I mean, the Void Ray count really has gotten to a good number here. 9. That's much better than like the 6 I think that it was like starting off with when the Hydras were making their way over here. And, SimCity, Poison Overcharge, a couple of cannons, even a Guardian Shield, all that makes it a little too scary to go into. And now Leenock has to go into Infestors. Getting a bigger, better economy, ready to throw away a couple of Hydras here and there.
I like the Infestors a lot. I think one of the worst parts about Void Rays, it's not that they clump. It's not that you're going to hit that fungal that might catch them all. And you might just pull it off. But the thing is, Void Rays are awful fighting one-on-one. They're great when there's a lot of them fighting something because of their very small but fast damage, right? So if you get that fungal, you hold them in place, and the Void Rays you know, suddenly now they can't range everything. The Hydra's able to shoot him down one at a time. Like,
Right.
this could be so good for Leenock if he does it correctly.
Yeah, catching them out of position as they try and retreat back is, I think, one of the most effective things to do. They go a little bit too far forward, get away from those cannons, get away from the sentries. So you grab them. Got him.
I was kind of wondering if he was going to mix in Ravagers with this at all, but at this point it's very clear he's just going to pure Hydra and Baneling. Maybe some Lings mixed in too.
Storms beginning to come into play here. Obviously, the actual upgrade is still a ways off, but feedback can still be important with those infestors we're talking about.
Definitely, definitely. A lot of cannons set up on these bases too. Absolutely appropriate, but the Hydra shredding through these pylons, oh my god. Like they're nothing.
Yeah, that despite all the cannons available, including photon cannons.
All of these minerals, whether it's pylons or cannons or even this fourth base ended up being a decoy, like this all buys time for Storm, which is what he really needs the most at the end of the day.
Leenock. Oh, this is the type of fungal I was talking about.
Well, he's not going to go for it, though.
Hydras. Yeah, his Hydras weren't really that close. You have to chain them. I don't know. It might have still been worth it. Oh, well.
Here comes the Templar. Gets the fungal on the Templar. Those aren't going to retreat.
Oh, no. And Storm wasn't even done.
Oh, that was so sick. He was just getting in there preemptively. This is bad for Zest all around.
If he had one more fungal, so many of those are dead. But they're able to retreat a little bit. They might all still be dead anyways.
I was gonna say, the fact that he killed the Templar, this might just be game as is. Plus 2 ranged weapons on mass Hydras. I mean, this isn't relying on Links and Banelings like it normally does. This is so many Hydralists. The Void Ray army gets absolutely shredded. And while charge slots get warped in, and they are admittedly good, that's still too much. Leenock takes the game.
2-1.
Puts him in a very comfortable spot to take the win here, as he is now 1 victory away from locking this down. Of course, if you guys could do me a favor, still, of course, hit the follow, subscribe, all that blah, blah, blah. But most importantly, go to the Match Arena page. We've had a couple more people throw in $1 or $2 here and there, bringing this up. But also, Riamar slaps down Unremitting. Says, Unremitting, I need you to take a seat here to my $24 donation. Now bringing him up to the top slot, $80. Oh, it's not screen reading yet. That feels bad. There we go. Top slot of $80 put into the prize pool. Prize money now up to $349. Let's see. What's the first place at now? $157.05. And then second place is $69.
Yeah.
No, but that's awesome. Thank you again, Riamar, for being so generous, as well as the many other folks who are involved in the Match Arena prize pool today. But we are getting into game number 4. Zest currently on his last life. He's got to win this game. It's his map pick for Proxima Station.
Indeed. He's able to take it back the second game, but only by dealing with a cheese effectively. What can you do in a macro game?
Hopefully win.
I almost sang that to the tune of what can you
do with a drunken sailor? What can you do with a macro game?
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Oh.
Duh. What would you do against a cheese all in?
I like the drunken sailor one better.
Well, I didn't learn that one, so.
I just actually I like sea shanty songs in general, but all right, game number 4 kicks off. BTSL brought to you by Twitch and Matcherino. July 17, guys, use up all the codes. This is your last chance as the tournament comes to a conclusion here, possibly with this game, as he leads 2-1 and is looking to lock it down in game 4. In the bottom left, we've got Leenock.
In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is Zest.
I need to go grab my phone at some point and get that video I took of Leenock dancing to the confetti. And just have that prepared and loaded, so next time we see him win a game, I can just like play that as the victory screen.
That's what floats your boat. Leenock dancing.
Yo, I'm actually really sad, by the way. I'm not sure if I'm crazy, but I can't find any NXENE VODs anywhere. Not on Twitch and not on YouTube.
Oh,
so I'm like a little bit bummed because I was going to go take some clips for like highlights and stuff, but it just made me sad realizing like so many of the fun moments of that tournament are now kind of gone behind us.
I was pretty bummed to see that our Home Story Cup VODs also just not available anywhere.
Yeah, well, that was before we had a YouTube guy, so we didn't have it on ours, and they didn't record it for theirs.
just like Homestory Cup in general for that one. I couldn't find many VODs at all. I
There's
found
no-
like the finals or something.
There's the clip of us dancing with Scarlet, Bunny, and Bly for the Cactus Valley intro. But like the thing is, well, I'm sad that there's like no real record of us being at that Home Story Cup. I'm also kind of okay because I was like almost like 80 pounds heavier than I am now, and it's like not a pretty sight to look back at for me.
I mean, no one really was a pretty sight at that event to BH. So everyone was hot and kind of gross and heat stroke and.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You were like, I had to like. Oh, everyone was trying to creep on Zombie Rebel. She was passed on the couch. She was like trying to be like protective big brother guy. Like, yeah, guys, don't do that. Don't do that. That's weird. Stop it. Zombie Rebel had like straight up heat stroke. That was a really hot summer. That was horrible.
Yeah. I forget which one it was. I think heat exhaustion's the worst one. So I think it was heat stroke. But it was all because I got like a little bit sick, so I didn't want to drink water. And that, that leads to complications. Because I got like strep throat sick, rather, not just regular sick. Extreme sick, advanced sickness.
Well, is that a young Jimmy?
No.
You're right. It's an old Jimmy. Thank you for the 11-month resub.
It kind of sounds like a rhetorical question, man.
I guess that's kind of. Oh, you got sick? Yeah, we call that an old Jimmy where I come from.
I mean, I'm sure there's some parts of the world. The Southerners have phrases for everything.
Well, Jimmy, thank you for the 11-month resub coming up on 12. I actually got a message the other day asking about when the Partoofs are coming out. Guys, Zombie Rub, when do you get back from Korea?
August 8th.
Then sometime around then we'll mail out the Partoofs, guys. Unfortunately, these last 2 months are kind of getting backed up. It's not that many people, funny enough. It's like 8 or 10 or a handful, but
yeah,
it's just worth noting that if you do qualify, it will be about a month before you actually get them.
I sent them out before I left, but I only sent out 2. I was like all ready to go because like for a lot of the months they were like 15. And I was ready to go, and I was like, like 2 of them, and I was like, oh.
So
the difference.
This drop really ends up messing Zest up in a couple of different ways. First off, like it gets in here and obviously forces some probes to be pulled. A lot of probes to be pulled. Zest, why are you still pulling the probes?
Overreaction.
Yeah, but the other part of it was he got to scout the Dark Shrine, which I think was... Well, actually, did he? No, he didn't. Oh, shit. I just assumed he did because of the way the links got in. Now he sees it. Okay, this is big. This is important for him to note.
It might not have mattered anyway, because he was not supposed to lair. No, I mean, it matters because he doesn't, like, accidentally lose a hatchery because his Spore Crawler barely isn't built or something like that, but I don't think that would have happened with the lair being really done around the same time. And now he definitely has Spore Crawlers.
Well, so all things considered here, forget the DTs, it's obviously about the Archons, and I actually have a little bit of faith in Zest for this one.
Game paused.
Need a quick pause. Because if you guys remember, Zest was actually really boring to watch for a while because he only did the same one build over and over and over again, but he was winning, and that was this classic Archon attack, right? His micro was always showing through with the drag and drop. The Archons were rarely lost. I think if he plays this perfectly, I have a lot of faith just on past results, but this was scouted. Spore Crawlers are down. Lings are coming out in a pretty big number. Roaches will soon be following. Like, Leenock will not be without defenses.
No, he should be absolutely fine. I mean, yeah, Zest had a couple of cool moves with the Archon, but it's not really enough to overtake
Resumed.
preparation. That's what I was going for. Stupid countdown. And part of the preparation is having Roachworn. Lings can cut it initially, but the chances of them bulking up against an Archon blast is a little bit too high.
Ooh, round 2 of the Lings.
Even going? Yeah. You gotta assume, like, of course, the first 4 warp-ins are used on the warp prism, so they could have got a really nasty timing.
Yeah, part of the worry is, like, Leenock... Okay, he does have enough at home to defend. He's not going to be without that. I was concerned that if he keeps dropping too many Lings, he's not doing damage. He's just taking away from defense at home. But he's not even going to kill a Stalker here.
No, but in the... either way, he was forcing gateway units where Zest didn't really want to put them, right? Like, either he puts them in the warp prism and then probes die, or he puts them at home and then the warp prism doesn't do anything. So In this case, it's tried and then left. It made Archons. Oh, there's just like nothing here at all.
But this is the problem. Like there's nothing here, but this was everything Leenock had at home too. Brought it across the map.
He has roaches, I think. Oh, not here.
And even if he did, it's against 2 Archons. These are pretty good at dealing with
There we
roaches.
go.
Although Zest's getting a little bit far away from that Warp Prism. That's his
2
exit boat.
Archons. Only 2 Archons can never really truly overwhelm, I think. If they had a charge lot warp in, though, that could have worked.
This got super out of hand, though. Actually, the +1 weapon timing really helped with this, too, because that went from a couple of probe scale to 24. Almost unmanageable. I said I had a lot of faith in Zest to do this well, and I was talking about this. Not at all about any of this.
I can't believe he didn't have any defense at the 3rd base. I mean, there's, like, not a wall, which, okay, that happens. You know, you think you have a better army by that time, so you don't need a wall at the 3rd base. I mean, pylons. Like, he just had no pylons there. He had no vision either because he was dropping with the Warp Prism to see that Ling attack coming in, so he couldn't even move his army in position. That was so bad. That was game-endingly bad. I'm pretty sure Zest just doesn't have an answer here.
I think the best thing he had going for him was the possibility of longevity with these drops, with the Spire finishing up and that Warp Prism being so low already. There's no way he sticks around here to do enough harass.
Yeah, I agree. He's looking like a very, very tough game. Leenock could probably get 6 mutas. He's limited on gas right now.
This really does go back to Zest being, like, not a bad player, but this matchup seems to be his real crux. Like, he just can't ZVP.
He has some, like, pacing problems, it feels like. Like, there was a time where his macro and micro was also called into question, which is odd, but true. But now, since that's kind of been fixed and he's looking, like, a little bit more in form, it's just the surprises. He almost always seems to be more surprised than other Protosses.
Really wants to kill that Spire.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Alright, well, Storm started up, and I guess he does have some Archon, so, like, mutas I really don't think mutas are the scary factor here. It's still the Banelings, it's still the Roaches, and it's honestly the Lings that are, like, more terrifying than those mutas will be.
Oh yeah, the muta is not too scary in this number. Just scary to the Warp Prism, sure, and scary for what they could be, depending on how Leenock wants to play this, but right now, not scary. Leenock, speaking of how he wants to play it, built 15 more drones. I think up to like 82 or something like that. Which is surprising only because his 4th base really wasn't that fast. So I'm surprised he's like not double expanding. You know, that might be a good idea.
Well, what's kind of cool about what he's already done here. Oh, that Warp Prism gets saved. I can't even believe it. That's like 1 health. Yeah. Zest isn't double upgrading despite these forges. He's thrown down more gateways in anticipation of this big all-in from Leenock. So I think the idea to go for... Oh, this is so dangerous to be maneuvering like this. The idea to go for a bunch of drones like that was actually brilliant out of Leenock. Almost like a bait.
Well, he is getting a very good-looking army now. Funnily enough, off of roaches, not hydras, which is what we saw in the last game.
So,
a lot of ravagers.
Is this army Japanese or Korean? Since it's very good-looking.
Well, I never said they were like super good-looking. I just said they belong in movies. Which isn't quite the same.
I'm trying to process that in my brain right now. Give me a few.
Trust me, it's not the same. Yo, there's been a couple of like movies, Japanese movies particularly, where I look at the main character and I'm just like, I guess that's what the fashion is in Japan, but I'm not on board.
God, that's a lot of banelings. 42 morphing in.
You know, really, it's a good-looking army because it's very
Japanese.
It's huge. Yeah. No, it's point is not Japanese. It's huge and it has +2 melee. But really, when you compare it to the type of army that Zest has, it's really not that great.
Right. Storms could annihilate 42 banelings fairly easily. Archons could also take a couple of those shots out. In fact, my biggest fear is that he doesn't have enough Archons, or that he'll be out of position. And right now, as he tries to guard himself getting a 4th, he might just be out of position. Loses one of the Templar. That's actually devastating. It's absolutely worth trading mutas for that.
Nice. Oh yeah, totally.
Ooh, you know what? Okay, the overcharges are wasted, but I actually like these pylons. This presents some SimCity potential. A couple of force fields to the south.
Oh, of course.
But,
I mean, if you're on Proxima, 4th base, you know these pylons. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I don't know about these storms. Maybe we should have let Leenock come to him. They sparsely hit.
I mean...
Of course, the Bow's landing too.
They hit a
Archons
lot.
aren't shooting. They're just soaking.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen though. Like those storms, they hit like good chunks of the army, and the Immortals did tank a lot of the Banelings. He keeps the 30 army supply difference now down to 20.
Those last 3 storms were way better than everything else that's happened in this game so far. But Zest, okay, pushes this back. Leenock's making 72 lings while this goes on, and moving towards Hive Tech.
Yeah, Ling's gonna be deadly. To this army, not allowed to charge that back up to back this up, and just 3 Archons, one almost dead. It's a little scary.
I really wish he'd just say screw this Warp Prism and build a new one. Like the fragility of relying on this 1 health Warp Prism. He's gonna. I just feel like 1 or 2 Corrosive Bios well placed. Mutalisk. Like there's just so many ways this could go badly for him.
Well, that's absolutely true. I mean, we got Hydras on the way, and that's probably going to take it out more than anything else. But we also have a Hive, more Banelings. Zest, though, kudos to him. He was at like a 50 supply deficit when that army moved into position, then made it like a 30, and then at the end of it, you know, still down 30, I suppose, but for a minute there, for a second rather, was even army supply. And he managed to keep a lot of like 4 units alive, Immortals and Archons.
Yo, by the way, shoutouts to Vaughan Schleha for the $15 added to the prize pool. Take my money and my tendies. This guy, I see him in Jace's stream, I see him in Nate's stream. He's got good taste.
He likes chicken tendies.
Yeah, he's also given me bits before. I like him.
Well, Zest might be able to just claw his way back into this game. Leenock, you know, he has a bank, he has tech, or more tech now, although not really fleshing that out. I'm a little concerned about that. Has a hive, but like nothing for the hive. We'll see what happens there. But the point is, like, he's not thrown the game yet. He has a couple more attacks in him, but that was Zest's way back into this game. His 4th base wasn't touched, his 3rd base wasn't touched, and his army survived well enough to look fearsome. I mean, for losing 25 probes and being down 30 supply at minute like 7 or 8 or something like that, that is pretty devastating. And he is bringing it to a late stage game.
For me, one of the biggest like catches to Zest. Oh, this is a wonderful catch here if he gets that Spire. He had double forge so early, and it took him so long to even use it, right? But killing the Spire or not? Oh my God! This is where the 1 health Warp Prism is gonna screw him. A full health Warp Prism would have finished the Zealot. That would have warped in. It would have killed the Spire. Oh my God!
When things work out that way.
I hate when things work out that way. This is devastating for Zest. This could have stopped and delayed Broodlords and Corruptors and anything for so long. Now he's going to have to deal with it. And frankly, I don't think he's got the ability to. Well, he's had like a really good time getting caught up with this ground army. Well, okay, I'll finish that thought later. That's a lot of storms. Maybe Leenock just dies here. He's not even splitting.
Well, it's funny, you know, he's not taking a good fight, and he doesn't even have Corruptors to threaten Broodlords.
Well, the reason I'm astonished by this is when he played versus Trust earlier, if you recall, he was actually segmenting his Banelings off and splitting so well, and storms wouldn't have mattered. Like, there's so many ways he's playing differently versus us. I'm going to say almost lazy, and it's costing him some of these engagements.
Oh yeah, he should definitely be splitting up his Banelings. But there's also just a certain fact that Leenock has an army that falls off when Zest gets this type of army. You know, all Zest was missing was the numbers, and Leenock gave him the opportunity by throwing away the first set of Banelings.
Storm's coming in again. I mean, Ling's 72 of them with adrenal glands would have been great, but yeah, Leenock's out. This ties up the series, and it's gonna give us a game 5 for the finals. So you know what? These guys, I think they deserve every penny that's in that match arena right now. Make sure, again, use up the coupon codes while we can. $377 strong now for the finals. We're gonna go. Excuse me. We're gonna go to a commercial break, and when we get back, find out who is the victor in the last and final game. What a crazy last map pick. But a brilliant one, too, depending on how he wants to play it. Because in the top right, having lost game 4, gave him map choice for game number 5. We have the red Zerg player. Things are tied up now 2-2 on him. It's Leenock.
In the bottom left as the blue Protoss, it is Zest. Not best, but better than before. Not quite out of the tournament yet.
Yeah, Zest Man, I was really worried he was gonna get 3-1'd, like floor it, but that game was probably the most impressive, the most impressive. No, that's not gonna work. But the point is, like he should have lost, in my opinion, early on, or at least he would have been so behind that he should have lost. The fact that he was able to bring that back, the fact that Leenock threw away armies against him, like there was definitely pros and cons to each player in that game. A lot of cons on Leenock's part, in my honest opinion, but I thought that was a great game out of Zest. And the fact that he brought this up to the game 5 of the finals makes me a very, very happy camper.
Yeah. And I was close to being right about the score, too. Dang. Still think Leenock takes it.
Well, by the way, during the commercial break, we did have Akarasi hit us up with a 27-month sub. Thank you very much. This is always a good time. Hell yeah. Hey. Unless it's like hour 8 into a cast.
Then it's a little less at the time.
I feel like, you know, there's the whole stereotype like, oh, I've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle for like rich people, right? And blah, blah, blah. I feel like we're like time-rich people. We're like, we used to be able to do 8 hours. It wouldn't matter. It wasn't a problem at all. Now we do like more than 4 and we're like old people falling asleep. It's like, oh, my program's on.
Yeah. My program.
Become accustomed to a certain time style.
Yeah, right. Like the DreamHack cast wasn't as bad.
For me it was. For me it was the most embarrassed I've been on stream in a while, to be honest.
You're struggling for sure. We also had to get up like at a much more difficult time than I did. But I still like, I don't know. I greatly prefer the 4 to 5 hour time slot. That's definitely for sure. I'm not wishing for anything longer or anything shorter.
I think like for me the perfect number is like 5 to 6. I'm always a little bit sad when it's 4 because it feels like it's too soon, but 8 feels too long. It doesn't matter. Anyways, This map pick out of Leenock, I really thought he was going to gear up for something a lot more all-in than what he has done. 3 hatcheries, though. Kind of a...
Yeah.
Unexpected, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you choose defenders at landing against a Protoss player, and the Protoss player is always a little bit scared of double ramp and all, but it's nothing suspicious, and he already has the double wall, so even if it was something off of 3 bases, it wouldn't be as scary. He's got a sentry, too, so that if it was a, banelings, he'd at least be able to save the force field.
Oh! Boy, he fudged up the force field. Wrong side.
Rookie. I would have done better. No, I wouldn't. But Robo opener here. Just the Robo so far. I mean, a Sentry Immortal push sounds a bit old school, but it can work.
Yeah, and I guess on a map short like this, you don't have that long to push. You just get across.
Yeah, there's kind of an interesting dynamic that happened when we had Arena, and then there was another map that I forget that was like it, where it was a very short map with a very easy choke in the middle.
You know what? I wouldn't mind them bringing back Arena. You know, they're trying to like recycle maps and bring them back. Arena was one of those maps that we thought was going to be god awful when we first saw it, but ended up being a pretty cool map that actually inspired innovative builds. I would not mind if they brought that back over some of these other ones, but I'm actually kind of happy about Catalina, though. Not because of the intro, obviously, and the stupid memes, but a 3-player spawn map. When's the last time we saw one, right? Like, I don't think we have this whole expansion.
It's been a while. But the other map I was thinking of was one that was maybe the Korean map maker, and I can't remember what it was called. But the point is, there was like an Immortal Sentry attack that you would still expand off of, but you actually moved out with Immortals, like, I think one Immortal, another one rallied, and then like 6 or 7 Sentries. And you could just abuse the format of the map, which looks like it might be able to work in Avengers Landing, but not nearly as well. Thinking these are Baneling drops, because an Overlord very rarely goes for the probes like this unless they're Banelings. I'm even a little surprised.
I kind of almost wish there was nothing in this. Like, it's just like an empty Overlord bait, because Leenock has done that before.
Yeah. Well, Zest, he doesn't quite clean this all up. Only has 2 gateways, by the way, not 3. I thought he had 3. It's only 2. So I picked up the army in the Warp Prism, and that is a little scary for Leenock. It's really nothing. It's an Immortal and 2 Sentries or 2 Sentries. Yeah, 2 Sentries that are going to the main base. But even if they got there, I don't know if it'd be really that scary of a force field abuse. It's finally cleaned up, and Leenock doesn't even let him get the chance to get those force fields.
There's like the sickest dance going on up there.
Yeah. The Warp Prism still wants to find an opportunity to do something, though. Okay, it can't wall off the main, the natural, but it still wants to do something. So, going to the third base as we watch the Lings attack into the third of Zest.
Oh, the force
So
fields
it's a
get
little
messed
bit
up
scarier.
again.
This is a lot scarier.
Yo, Zest just
Well-
can't force field on this map, I think.
Only 2. There wasn't many options to save the sentries.
No, but I'm just saying, like, both times, man, like, it puts him on the wrong side of the force fields.
He loses this game, I think. Like, I don't know about his opener, to be honest. Like,
The choice for the Immortal and the Sentry drop, I guess, kind of made sense. You could wall, like, force field off this wall. The Immortal would
went
kill drones,
right
but, like,
for the main. Like, he had a plan, but it was, you know, if it doesn't work, it's shockingly bad, I guess. So many Lings doing so much damage.
and they're not done yet. Third base is still under attack. Now the Roaches come into play, too. He does still have 2 Immortals and a lot of microbility with them, so maybe this won't just be over yet, but this is still... Zest has nothing to work with. He's fighting with scraps.
You know, if he had just stayed at home and had some limited scouting with Warp Prism only full of, like, a couple of adepts, I bet he has a good army against this. Enough sentries, correct force fields, buy time for more Immortals, but that is not how it played out.
Congratulations to Leenock. He'll take first place in this week's BTSL and also guarantee his spot in the finals happening on Wednesday. Very excited to see some more Leenock action. So, prize pool now rounding out at $380 here at the very end of the day. Some more people using this prize pool, or those coupon codes, excuse me. Olab is saying saving esports $1 at a time. Kind of what happened. Almost made $400 today. That would have been cool. That would have been really like that perfect number, but 380 is plenty. That means first place gets $171, so congratulations, Leenock. Zest will walk away with 76, which is also not too bad. And, of course, Neeb and Impact will walk away with $47.50 each. Also, have we been paid out for the caster tournament yet? Did that ever happen? I haven't been paying attention to that.
If there's no money in your match arena, then no.
Okay.
I think because they waited an extra week for the t-shirt sales, they're going to wait on paying out.
I think like
I don't know,
4
maybe
people...
maybe I was. I have $58, and I don't think I'd get it from anything else. Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
would get it from t-shirt sales, right? Like every shirt that sells, you get like the $5 or whatever.
Oh, is that immediate?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. You're right.
All right. Well, not super important. Just, I was realized like this is the first time I ever like won money. We always have to pay the money out on Match Arena, right? We're never the ones getting money, so it just occurred to me like I actually don't know how to check for that. But anyways, congratulations, Leenock. Let's get a recap this, guys. Before you disappear, hit the follow button on the channel. Please make sure to come back for all kinds of good StarCraft stuff in the future. We're gonna go to a quick break to end the stream. When we come back, we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll send out the replay packs to all our subscribers from today. So see you guys soon.